रेणु भजन अनुकूल भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलातिकार मूल शुद्ध चरण रेणु भजन शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलातिकार मूल शुद्ध भक्त रेणु भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलातिकार मूल माधवती थी भक्ति जननी जतने पालन कोरी माधवती थी भक्ति जननी जतने खोरी कृष्ण बसती बसती बोली परमादरे बोरी कृष्ण बसती बसती बोली हरि गौर आमार जे सब स्थाने कोरल भ्रमण रंगे गौर से सब स्थाने रिबो आमी प्रणयी भक्त संगे से सब स्थान प्रणयी संगे मृदंग वाद्य सुनीते मन अबसर सदा जाचे मृदंग वाद्य गौरविहित कीर्तन शूनि आनंदे हृदय नाचे गौरविहित जुगल मूर्ति देखिया मोरा परमानंद होय जुगल मूर्ति देखिया मोरा प्रसाद सेवा करिते होय सकल प्रपंच जय प्रसाद जिदिन गृहे भजन देखी गृहे ते गोलोक भाय जिदिन गृहे भजन देखी गृहे ते भाय चरण सिधो देखिया गंगा सुख न सीमा पाया चरण सिधो तुलसी देखी जुड़ाय प्राण माधव तोषणी जानी तुलसी देखी हृदय प्राण गौर प्रिय शाक सेवने जीवन सार्थक मानी गौर प्रिय शाक सेवने जीवन सार्थक मानी भक्ति विनोद कृष्ण भजने अनुकूल पाय जहाँ भक्ति प्रतिदिवसे परम सुखे स्वीकार करो यथाः प्रतिदिवसे शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल शुद्ध भक्त चरण रेणु भजन अनुकूल भक्त सेवा परम सिद्धि प्रेमलातिकार मूल भक्त मूल हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण लाउडर प्लीज कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण हरे हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्ण Rama Rama Hare Hare. The meaning of this song is, this song describes all the favorable items for devotional life. If we perform all of them or any one of them, that will lead to perfection. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, our great Acharya, has written this song. Dust from the lotus feet of pure devotees is conducive to devotional service, while service to the Vaishnavas is itself the supreme perfection and the root of the tender creeper of divine love. So, Nameruchi, Vaishnav Seva, and Jivadaya, these are the three principles. So, Vaishnav Seva is described here. I observe with great care the holy days like Ekadashi. Today we are celebrating Ekadashi, Indira Ekadashi, and Janmashtami, for they are the mother of devotion. Mother produces the child. So, if we celebrate Janmashtami, we celebrate Ekadashi, then the child in the form of devotional service will be born. For they are the mother of devotion. As my dwelling place, I choose with the greatest awe, greatest of reverence and love the transcendental abode of Sri Krishna. So Vrindavana is our perfection. Always meditating on Vrindavan. When heart is purified, the heart is always residing in Sri Vrindavan. All those places where my Lord Gaursundar travelled for pastimes, I will visit in the company of loving devotees. So we don't go wandering all over the universe in all the holy places by ourselves. We go with the loving devotees, those who love Lord Gauranga. With them we go and visit all the holy places. My mind always begs for the opportunity to hear the music of the mridanga. Upon hearing the kind of kirtan ordained by Lord Gaurchandra, my heart dances in ecstasy. So we should always aspire. Materialistic people aspire for materialistic sound vibration, some sound of some music, some materialistic film song. But we wish to hear the sound of mridang, kartal, kirtan. By beholding the deity forms of the divine couple, Shri Shri Radha Krishna, I feel the greatest joy. By honoring the Lord's prasad, I conquer over all worldly illusions. So, potency of the darshan of their lordships, deity forms, and also potency of prasadam. By taking prasadam, Prabhupada says, one will conquer the tongue, which is the most difficult sense to control. Golok Vrindavan appears in my home whenever I see the worship and service of Lord Hari going on there. Upon seeing the Ganges, which is a river of nectar emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord, my happiness knows no bounds. So, two things here. When Bhaktivinoda Thakur had several children, around 13 children. So, when he would enter in his house, he would find one son would be playing mridang, one would be playing kartal, one would be leading kirtan, 4 5 for dancing, one doing deity worship. It was as if entering in Golok Vrindavan Dham. So uh, he would enjoy that. And also Ganges emanates from the lotus feet of Lord Vamandev. So that's why she's called a Tribhuvana Pavani. She purifies all the three universes. So Ganges, just by thinking about Ganges is purifying. What to speak of getting the breeze which flows over the waters of the Ganges, and what to speak of the touching of the Ganges water. The sight of the holy Tulsi tree soothes my soul, for I know she gives pleasure to Lord Krishna. Tulasi Krishna Preyasi Namo Namaha. Tulsi is the Tula Asi. Nobody in comparison to this plant, Tulsi, greatest devotee of Lord Krishna. Always at the feet. In fact, Lakshmi Devi also feels what is this. She is always there at the feet of the Lord. I also, for some services, cooking and other purposes, she has to leave the lotus feet of the Lord. But Tulsi never leaves the lotus feet of the Lord. So she is the greatest devotee. By honoring Shaka, a green leafy vegetable preparation, a dear favorite of Lord Chaitanya, I consider life worthwhile. So Shak is simple sabji, but because offered to Lord Krishna and very dear to Lord Gauranga, so I consider life worthwhile just by taking Shak. Whatever Bhaktivinoda obtains that is conducive for the service to Sri Krishna, he accepts every day with the greatest of joy. So these are all favorable items we should accept wholeheartedly. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhaktivinoda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande. Reading from where? Let me know. ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरोः श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। Yes, Hare Krishna. So on Ekadashi day here in Shishi Radha Madan Mohan Temple, Hyderabad, ISKCON Temple, we read from the book Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So Srila Prabhupada is the founder Acharya of ISKCON, who in just a span of 12 years, 1965 to 1977, with the help of all his disciples, thousands in number, he established ISKCON Society, worldwide Krishna Consciousness Society, spreading the glories of Lord Krishna based on the Vedic literature, Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. So about him, several books have been written, of which Lilamrit, written by, with the heading of His Holiness Satsrup Das Goswami Maharaj, with the assistance of many other devotees, they compiled this book. So we read from this book and explain a little bit. So we are reading from this part. This is part volume 3. Only he could lead them. How Prabhupada was leading all his disciples in propagating Krishna consciousness, establishing temples, distributing books, performing street sankirtan, and several other aspects of Krishna consciousness. He was the only leader. All others were foreigners, Americans, Europeans. So they did not know what was Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada was leading them all. So we are reading from part 1, India Revisited. This is after Prabhupada got a stroke. So Prabhupada, he was there in 1965, around September 18th or so, he reached there, and he was struggling in Butler, Pennsylvania, eventually in New York. Then after 1 year around, he established ISKCON in 1966. But in 67 also, Prabhupada had a stroke, so he had to return to India, because when one is in one's own native place, the weather is suitable, where the body is born and brought up there. So nothing else was working. So Prabhupada thought of visiting India. So Prabhupada came. So this is on Janmashtami day, August 28. Srila Prabhupada awarded the order of sannyas to Kirtananand in a ceremony in the Radha Damodar temple. He was assisted by Kirtananand and Achyutanand. No, only Kirtananand alone. So okay. So Prabhupada gave him sannyas in Radha Damodar temple on Janmashtami, August 28 of 1967. 67. Kirtananand thus became Srila Prabhupada's first disciple to become a sannyasi, Kirtananand Swami. During the initiation, hundreds of visitors were present observing the birthday of Lord Krishna, and many of them came by to congratulate the young sannyasi. Someone said he looked like Lord Chaitanya. So sannyas is what do you call, spiritual delight, but it requires giving up all the worldly pleasures. Not so easy. Society is formed by 4 varnas and 4 ashramas. Varnas are Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra. This is social order. This is not based on one's birth. In India and all over the world, a lot of racial discrimination. People fight. In America, blacks and whites, they have their fights. In India, all these communities. And people fight like anything based on body, based on birth. But Lord Krishna very clearly says, Janma karma, he says, Chaturvarne maya srishtam guna karma vibhagasha. So the gun, the qualities which are characteristics of subtle body. We have subtle body, inside body, like undergarments. The subtle body is made up of mind, intelligence and false ego. And externally there is gross body consisting of five panchamahabhut: earth, water, fire, air, ether. So guna is characteristic of subtle body, and karma is the characteristics of that are characteristics of gross body. So based on guna and karma, how one behaves, based on that, these four varnas and ashramas. Four ashramas are brahmachari, grahastha, vanaprastha, sannyasi. By default, one will fall in one of the four if he is civilized man or woman. If not, then he is degraded person. He is beyond varnashram, and that is very much condemned in the scriptures. But such a person also, by getting help, getting guidance, getting blessings of pure devotee, he can also be elevated to the topmost degree, to the topmost level of reaching perfection of human form of life. So here he took sannyas, not so easy in one sense, because giving up all the worldly pleasures, the jiva by nature is pleasure seeking, anandamayo abhyasat. We always seek pleasure. So anything, maybe eating, sleeping is another pleasure, going for sightseeing, maybe in Hyderabad, all over South India, here, there. For eyes, some pleasure, beautiful forms. For ears, some melodious sound, some music, something, some sweet uh, thing like that. For tongue, palatable dishes. For skin, nice objects, like in summer season, cold water. In winter season, hot water. Or like that, maybe like this very soft bedding for sitting, etc. So these are the pleasures of life for the body. And similarly for mind also. Those people who appreciate us, we like to visit them. Those who insult us, we want to destroy them or get rid of them. For intelligence also, we want something, material intelligence. So all these pleasures are there. False ego derives pleasure in getting worship. So all these things are very pleasurable, but sannyasi gives up all these pleasures. The morning only I was hearing one lecture by His Holiness Radhana Swami Maharaj. She was explaining how brahmachari should be simple, they should be studying the scriptures and like that. And sannyasis, they should not delight in false ego, in that kind of false prestige. Difference between brahmacharis and sannyasis. Sannyasis should be very simple, very humble, and absolutely not interested anything material, any material pleasure. That is called a civil death. Civil death. He's dead person. He's walking corpse, walking dead body amongst us. Sannyasi. I don't know. He's living. He's walking. How can walking? How can a corpse walk? That's a ghost. No, he's not ghost. In one sense, he's ghost because he's not interested in worldly pleasure. He cannot enjoy anything material. So taking sannyas sometimes is seen as a delight in ISKCON, but not so easy. Many hanker for it. But Prabhupada gave him. Sometimes Prabhupada gave sannyas, many times, because he wanted to propagate Krishna consciousness. Sannyasis are not supposed to stay in one place for more than 3 days or for a long period. So they kept traveling from one place to another place and spread Krishna consciousness. Brahmacharis also stay in Gurukul. Brahmachari Gurukule Vasan. He has to reside in Guru's ashram and do some menial services, cleaning, sweeping, like that. In ISKCON also, brahmacharis do all toilet cleaning. All many sannyasis in ISKCON, like His Holiness Bhakti Purushottam Swami Maharaj. First time when he joined as a brahmachari in Mayapur ISKCON temple, so his service was, people go, public toilets are there in ISKCON temple. There people pass stool, urine, everything. So the sewage that is their tank, to clean all that, with this kind of, what I call that, with that, take it out and throw it somewhere. So Maharaj would personally, as a brahmachari, would enter inside and keep cleaning all that. So this kind of simple, humble services one should render. And then Sannyas means is more or less is liberated person. Prabhupada said brahmachari means 75% is liberated because no sex life. So if sex life is not there, one is 75% liberated. So brahmacharis keep themselves free from sex life. So then they are 75% free. And sannyasi is completely free. He has reached perfection. So Prabhupada awarded sannyas to Kirtanan Swami, Kit. Srila Prabhupada wrote, he will be going back to the states very soon to begin preaching work with greater vigor and success. In the meantime, I shall try to utilize this white sannyasi for recruiting some members in India. White sannyasi means white skinned sannyasi. Because Indians were quite impressed in those days by seeing foreigners, white skinned people. Now there are quite some foreigners visiting India, but in those days it was very rare sight. So Prabhupada wanted to use him. Otherwise, Prabhupada said very soon he will be going to States, United States, for beginning this preaching work with greater vigor and success. He has practiced dependence on Krishna, a sannyasi. He knows how Krishna assists. Krishna is all the time with me. So that kind of faith he has. In fact, one of the tests of a sannyasi is he can enter in a forest with absolutely no fear. That he has the whole confidence that Krishna will protect me. Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. So such a person has full dependence. Not only forget about entering in the material forest, means forest of trees, etc. He is confident that I cross over the entire forest of material enjoyment, material existence. And so he says, Etam sa asthaya paratmanishtham adhyasitam purvatamair maharshibhi aham darishyami duranta param tamo mukundangri nishaiva. So this is in 11th canto. Avanti Brahmani saying, this is sannyas mantra. So if you heard it, you got a sannyas. So sannyasi has to recite this mantra when he's getting sannyas. Etam sasthaya paratmanishtam adhyasitam purvatamair maharshibi. I am following in the footsteps of previous acharyas and I have full astha, full confidence. Aham tarishyami duranta param. Dur anta. Anta means end. Dur means it's far, very far. Anta is very far, just like ocean, Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean. So if I am standing on the shore of Atlantic Ocean, can I see the anta, the end of the ocean? No question. All throughout till horizon, I will see only water, water, water. Somebody who is flying in some plane or something quite high above the Atlantic Ocean, he may be able to see the end of that ocean, maybe two shores simultaneously. But otherwise, even ordinary oceans like Pacific, Atlantic, their anta cannot be seen. That means anta is very far, dur anta. So aham tarishami duranta param. This whole material existence of birth and death, bhavasagar, who can fathom or see the end of this ocean? No question. But he's saying aham tarishami. I am not going to see, I am going to cross it beyond. Aham tarishyami duranta param. The end is very far, but I will cross it. Tamo mukundangri nishaiva. By taking firm shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Mukunda. Muk means mukti. So one who can give deliverance or liberation, he is called as Mukunda. One of the names of Lord Krishna is Mukunda because he can give mukti. Nobody else can give mukti. Vishnu, mukti pradata sarvesham, Vishnu revana samshaya. Apart from Vishnu, Krishna, Ram, nobody else can give mukti. Demigods cannot give mukti. Indra, Chandra, Vayu, Varun, Ganesh, none of the 33 crore demigods are having the capacity to give liberation to any of their worshippers. In India, so much of demigod worship goes on and people madly worship them. So the demigods can give some facilities, some pleasures, money, wealth, and every demigod has different capacity. Just like Ganesh, he says, what is that shloka? Brahma Samhita? That he has capacity to destroy all the distress of the people within one universe only. Ours is one universe of 14 planetary system, Tribhuvan, Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, Patal, Burlok, Buarlok, Swargalok, Janalok, Tapalok, Maharlok, Satyalok. So 14 planetary system within one universe. And like that there are millions of universes. But one demigod like Ganesh, Lord Shiva's son, he can remove distress of people of only one universe, of this universe only. If he's asked, can you remove the distress of somebody in another universe? No way. That is not his power. Just like our irrigation department minister. So he can help, let's say, for country India. So he can give water supply where it is not available within India. But in America, there is a shortage of water. He has no power over there. Similarly, in Australia or another place, he is only limited to India. Similarly, demigods, their sphere is in small region of one universe only. So only mukti can be given by Lord Krishna. And sannyasi takes form shelter of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna, and he gets liberated from the cycle of birth and death. So Prabhupada told his plan. Early in September, Achyutananda arrived in Delhi. So Achyutananda had arrived in Delhi. A Hindu lady gave him 5 rupees and he took the train to Mathura, where he got directions to the Keshavji Gaudiya Mutt. What is Keshavji Gaudiya Mutt for us? Prabhupada's sannyas place. Recently we celebrated Prabhupada's taking sannyas, Vishwarup Mahotsav. So Prabhupada took sannyas in this Keshavji Gaudiya Mutt of the 64 Gaudiya Mutts that Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur established in India mainly, but some 3-4 outside of India also, Burma, etc. So of that Keshavji Gaudiya Mutt situated in Mathura, that's where Prabhupada got sannyas in the year 1959, isn't it? In 1959, Prabhupada took sannyas over there. So this Achyutanand, he arrived there. Narayan Maharaj, a friend of Prabhupada's, took Achyutananda under his care, and after showing him the hall where Prabhupada had taken sannyas in 1959, that is mentioned here anyway, put him on a bus to Vrindavan with an old gentleman for an escort. So in fact, that time the vidhi for Prabhupada sannyas was done by Narayan Swami Maharaj only. Sannyas Guru was His Holiness Bhakti Pragyan Keshav Maharaj, very senior disciple of Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur. Tall like him, thin like him, looking like him, and scholarly like Bhaktivinoda Thakur also, quite a great personality. So Prabhupada was given sannyas in 1959. Long story that is there in several pages. So accompanied by his escort, Achyutanand arrived by rickshaw before the Radha Damodar temple where Prabhupada is there. So Radha Damodar temple, it is said, it is the hub of the whole spiritual world. And Prabhupada was situated there after his sannyas. But then Prabhupada left that place to spread Krishna consciousness all over the world. What a sacrifice. Just like in the material world, those materialistic sense enjoyers, they desire to be somewhere like in London or in New York, somewhere, Manhattan. That is like every type of sense gratification, pleasure is available there. If you are a rich man, you must have something in New York or Manhattan or something like that. So for spiritualists, the topmost place is Vrindavan. And in Vrindavan also, Radha Damodar temple. Because there Rupa Goswami Samadhi is there, Rupa Goswami's Bhajan Sthali is there, and Shri Radha Damodar. In fact, in those days, because India was under Mughals were ruling, they were destroying temples, forget about supporting temples. So several deities of the Acharyas were there, but the temples, how to build so many temples and arrange for lordships, like we can see here, such beautiful worship, such nice garlands for their lordships, such opulent clothes, jewelry, bhoga, Rajbhog has to be 12 items minimum. Scriptural injunctions are there. So many temples, so many deities, what to do? Money is not there. And Mughals are all against the Hindu temples. They will destroy Hindu deities and Hindu temples and Hindus also. So what to do? There's no money, funds. So then Srila Jiva Goswami, one of the 6 Goswamis, who was then the leader of entire Gaudiya Sampradaya, he established several deities in one place only, one altar only. It is Radha Damodar temple, but on the altar there are several other deities. Radha Chail Chicken, then Radha Madhav, Radha Vrindavan Chandra. Yeah, you'll see there altar with several deities, several Radha Krishnas. Why? Funds are not there, temples are not there. So in one temple, one altar only, all the deities. And Prabhupada had the fortune. Just come out of the room and Prabhupada can see Radha Damodar, Radha Vrindavan Chandra, Radha Madhav, and Shyla. Krishna personally gave Shyla to Sanatan Goswami. So that Shyla was there. Everything was there. Best of everything that a spiritualist may desire. But Prabhupada left it all to go to West, to preach Krishna consciousness. So Prabhupada's sacrifice is kind of na bhuto na bhavishyati, never happened and will never happen. Such sacrifice. So Achyutanand walked into Prabhupada's room and fell prostrate at his feet. Oh, Prabhupada said, you are here. When Achyutananda looked up, he saw that Swamiji had a 5-day beard and was wearing only one piece of cloth wrapped around his waist from behind, crossed over his chest, and tied behind his neck. Prabhupada smiled, apparently in good health. Kitanand Swami also greeted Achyutanand and showed him his new danda. So Achyutanand Swami was given sannyas before, or is going to take? He's going to get the danda. He's going to take sannyas. So his danda is shown to him. For Achyutananda, the most wonderful thing about Swamiji in Vrindavan was the simplicity of his life. Although in New York Swamiji had worn simple robes, he had always been regal, a guru. But here he lived very simply and humbly. So Prabhupada was always humble and simple only. But for preaching, we accept. Yukta Vairagya. Like our brahmacharis also wear very nice dhoti kurta. But actually, ideally, brahmacharis are not like beggars only. They should wear all torn clothes. Whatever Hyderabad people throw here and there in garbage, brahmachari should pick up, wash it with simple water. If the river is there, river water, and just wear it. Holes are there, stitch them. Or this big hole, this hole, this hole, take them together, put a tie, knot, and like that. So that is the simple life of mendicant. But then for preaching sake, if we go like that, then who will listen to us? Hey, this is a teacher, this is a beggar fellow. Maybe he has come to ask money. So people will run away. So then that's why we wear good clothes. Similarly, another way of renunciation is to allow the hair to grow. Whatever way. And never comb them, never wash them in one sense. So that will call a jata, matted hair. So that is one sign of renunciation, not caring for bodily pleasure. People so much care for their hair, so much. Youngsters, so in between they will do like this. Comb is always there. Any mirror, anything which reflection can come, immediately they will start combing. Boys, girls, like that. So one renunciation is not allow the hair to comb and all that. They will be all matted. If you put comb, you pull it, comb will break, but the hair will never separate like that. That is called a matted hair, jata. Another renunciation is to have clean shaved head. So for looking good, we have clean shaved head for preaching sake. Like that. We don't go for that other type of renunciation, allowing the matted hair like that. But now Prabhupada is in Vrindavan, he is sick also. So in 5 days he has not shaved at all. Beard is there. He is simple. So Prabhupada is very simple there. For Achyutananda, the most wonderful thing about Swamiji in Vrindavan was the simplicity of his life. Although in New York Swamiji had worn simple robes, he had always been regal, a guru. But here he lived very simply and humbly. Once when he sat down on the veranda outside his room to wash his hands, his body instantly became covered with flies. Kitananand and Achyutanand were always being bothered by the flies. This was the rainy season, but Prabhupada scarcely noticed them and sat quietly washing his hands. So Prabhupada was used to Indian lifestyle. For them, having flies in America, I think maybe so many flies will not be there. And they will have all the system by which flies will not be around and troubling and all. But in India, we are all used to it, in rainy season in particular. So Prabhupada had no problem, but they had a lot of difficulty. His Grace Jananivas Prabhu was telling, I was hearing recently one of his classes. So he was telling that when Prabhupada would stay in Mayapur, this was little later, so then there are a lot of mosquitoes there in the evening because all the fields around. I remember when I went first time to Mayapur, I think in 2000, year 2000. So many mosquitoes. Toilet you go, minimum 200 to 300 mosquitoes in that toilet. And so much anxiety. That was in our campus. This was in 2000. So you can imagine what must be the case before 1977. So many mosquitoes there because all fields, hundreds of acres of field. So then easiest, simplest way in India is to create that smoke from some neem leaves, etc. And then smoke. So what you have to do, you have to close all the windows and somebody will get that leaves dried and all. And the smoke will be created, get it in some vessel, keep it there, smoke will spread all throughout the room like that. And so much that you cannot see next person, you cannot see anything there, only smoke, 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 smoke. And after some time, because mosquitoes are all trapped there, and then open the doors, windows, etc. Then the mosquitoes will run away because they don't want to be in this smoke. The smoke is not good for them. It is something like all out, but not exactly killing them. So within short time you have to open also. So very nice. Jiva Daya taking care of all out and all kill them only. And nowadays there are some kind of bats, badminton bat kind of thing. I was in Bangalore from 19th to 25th of previous month. So the next door neighbor only on the third floor, that fellow young boy, software engineer, he had that bat and sound was coming tack tack tack. So I went and saw through the window. He was every mosquito would come, he would either slap it and kill it, or with the bat he would just kill it. So much sinful, killing the mosquitoes. So that is not good. One should drive them away, not kill them. If you cannot give life, you have no reason or no what do you call issue. You cannot kill them. So anyway, so Prabhupada, that smoke. So what happened once devotees came to meet Prabhupada. So they came and so much smoke, they were not able to see Prabhupada. Some 2-3 devotees were there. And Janyavas Prabhu had created that smoke, that thing like that. So then devotees were coughing, American disciple. For them, so much smoke. They said, Prabhupada, should we open the windows? Should we? Prabhupada said, no, 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 don't open. Here is, and they were suffocating, coughing. And they were wondering, what is this? And Prabhupada said, wait for some time. So Janyavas Prabhu was listening the conversation. So after some time only Prabhupada allowed the doors and windows to be opened and the mosquitoes ran away. So Prabhupada was quietly, he washed his hand. Kirtananand and Achyutanand agreed that Swamiji wasn't just another Vrindavan Babaji. There was no one else like him. Certainly Gaurchand Goswami, proprietor of the Radha Damodar temple, wasn't like Swamiji. He wore thick glasses and could barely see. And when Kirtananand and Achyutanand went before the deities in the temple, Gaurchand Goswami asked them loudly, so, how do you like him? Which one do you like the best? All this. I like them all, said Achyutanand. I like the big one on the end there, said the priest, pointing in an offhand manner at the deity of Krishna. Which is that deity? Anybody knows? Okay, anyway, it looks a bit like General Chaudhary. The Swami's boys exchanged looks. What kind of guys are these? And went back to Swamiji for an explanation. They are the caste Goswamis, Prabhupada explained. The original Goswamis, such as Jiva Goswami, who established the Radha Damodar temple, had engaged householders to worship the deities. And these caste Goswamis were descendants of those first householder pujaris. Prabhupada explained that the caste Goswamis were the proprietors of the temples and that they maintained the temples and ran the deity worship as a business to support their families. Several years ago, each of the deities now on the altar had his own temple, land, income, and priests. But for economy, the Goswamis had sold the property, reduced the opulence of the worship, and amalgamated the deities. There were many other interesting characters. The old widow Sarojini or somebody, with bald head and shikha and calloused bare feet, who slept in a room by the gate of the temple and swept Swamiji's kitchen and washed his clothes. Panchudas Goswami, the temple proprietor's son, who always chewed pan and went around sleepy-eyed in a silk dhoti with a red embroidered border, the dark old Babaji who came at night, who was constantly laughing and who made sandalwood paste for Swamiji, the local herbal doctor Vanamali Kaviraj, who presided, brightly smiling, from behind a desk in a tiny chamber filled from ceiling to the floor with little bottles, and a famous Pandit who visited Swamiji and wore a gold-linked tulsi necklace and diamond rings. All of these persons were devotees, residents of Holy Vrindavan, but no one was like Swamiji. Prabhupada had been interacting with many people in Vrindavan. There is one book, Our Srila Prabhupada, A Friend to All. How many have read? By Hare Krishna, Moola Prakriti Mataji. Very nice book. If you want, if you get time, you may read it. So in that, all Prabhupada's interactions with Vrindavan residents, the heads, different heads of temples, etc. How Prabhupada had very loving dealings with them. They knew Prabhupada. And they would come voluntarily to assist him those days also. Prabhupada was earlier as a Vanaprastha in Radha Damodar temple, and one point of time in 1959, He went to Mathura and got sannyas. Then he came back, then he was as a sannyasi. Till 1965 he was there, and every now and then he would go to Delhi for printing books, especially Bhagavatam. So that time also many would come. Like one of the Matajis, these Matajis after preaching in West, when Prabhupada brought around 30 of his disciples, I don't know which year was that, 1972, 72 or so. So that time, and other times also, Prabhupada requested the resident Mataji, simple lady, that please teach my lady disciples how to wear sari. Because Prabhupada's American and European disciples, they would wear sari, but the sari would be like slipping, and it would not be appropriate. And many people would criticize also, what is this? They don't even know how to wear clothes, etc. But then Prabhupada requested, you see my disciples, they are so sincere, they want to wear saris, but they don't know. You know, you are Indians from childhood, they have been wearing. So you teach them. Similarly, he would request other Prabhus, please teach my disciples how to behave properly. One of the accusations for Prabhupada was, your disciples don't behave properly. So then Prabhupada had to worry, Prabhupada had to take care of those aspects. Don't behave properly means as far as material life goes. Spiritually, they were behaving the topmost gentlemen by doing Harinam Sankirtan, etc. So one of the persons earlier, before Prabhupada, as a Vanaprastha sannyasi, before 1965, when Prabhupada had gone out, every day Prabhupada would go for taking darshan of 7 deities of Vrindavan, 7 temples. So one point of time when he came back in his room, when he opened the door, suddenly several that cobwebs and spiders, they fell down, because this brahmachari was cleaning the room. So as soon as the spiders fell down, they were out of their nest, out of their cobweb, that means out of their house, kind of vacated, thrown out. So they ran here and there on the floor, and Prabhupada looked as he entered. Then he said, what is this? What are you doing? He said, Prabhupada, I'm cleaning the room. And so many cobwebs and all that. Prabhupada said, but don't kill them. No, said, no, I'm not killing, I'm only taking them away. Prabhupada said that they have been residing in Vrindavan for generations. So they are the local Vrindavan Vrajavasis. We all have come from outside. Like Prabhupada was from Kolkata. So we are not Vrajavasis. These are Vrajavasis. Prabhupada is referring to spiders and other insects, because their generations are from that place only. Na? They don't migrate to Hyderabad, Bangalore for better prospects or whatever. They are from there only. So take care. Don't kill them, and they are the residents of Vrindavan. So Prabhupada was concerned that they should not be suffering like that. So Prabhupada was so compassionate, so compassionate. Once Prabhupada was looking in the Radha Damodar, his own room, he was sitting there and looking at the floor, he was chanting very intensely, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Every day one boy would come, local boy, Vrindavan, and he would bring milk for Prabhupada in some lota to deliver. So that day also he came, and the door, Prabhupada was sitting inside the room, and the door was closed but slightly open. So he could see clearly Prabhupada. And Prabhupada was sitting and he was looking at the ground, and he was chanting very intensely. There were tears almost in Prabhupada's eyes. So he was wondering what to do. How to deliver milk. If I tell him, Swamiji, I have brought milk, Prabhupada's meditation, chanting will be disturbed. So I should not disturb him in his chanting. But then milk also has to be given. Then he thought, I will wait for some time. Prabhupada will, maybe after completing round or something, he may look at me, then I will deliver. So meanwhile, when he waited, he saw one scorpion was entering through that open door inside the room, crawling on the ground. Scorpion. And then entered in the room, and he was wondering, now what to do? Milk can be delivered later, but the scorpion going towards Swamiji, he may bite him and Swamiji could die also. He was wondering. But then Prabhupada was so intensely chanting, he did not feel like disturbing him. Many of us, we chant so carelessly and so absent-mindedly. So many devotees come and tell Prabhu, they ask questions and we answer also. This is not the proper way. From Prabhupada we can learn. How intensely he was chanting, and the boy, though small boy, he was hesitating to disturb Prabhupada's chanting. So much deep meditation, such feelings he has for Krishna. How can I disturb him? But now scorpion is, now this is a big problem. What to do? And the scorpion is slowly, slowly crawling towards Prabhupada only. So then he understood this is too much. I have to break his meditation. I cannot but disturb him. So then he says, Swamiji, there is a scorpion on the ground coming towards you. So just imagine if somebody tells you, like that, Pavan Putra Prabhu, scorpion is close to you. Immediately will jump and run somewhere. Means not you, maybe I will jump. If some scorpion is coming on Vyasa, let him give class and let me live in this body. I cannot have out of body experience. So we'll run away. So Prabhupada, when he heard that sound, first he was deep in chanting. So then some sound was heard. So it's like some disturbance. So he came out of the meditation. Then he thought, what did he say? Because he's so absorbed, you understand, no? So he did not hear. Then he thought about it. Okay, maybe the boy said that there is a scorpion in the room coming towards me. That's what he understood. And Prabhupada was very cool. Not like us. Prabhupada was very cool. Prabhupada said, okay, don't worry. It will go away. Such faith, my God, scorpion. Because unless Paramatma in the heart of that scorpion dictates to that scorpion that go and bite this Swamiji, the scorpion will not bite him. That is the sannyasi. Prabhupada had taken sannyas anyway. So this is the faith. That doesn't mean that we should also be like that. Anyway, we are not sannyasis. We should run away. We should do something to save the body. Jaan hai to jahan hai. Bachenge to bachayenge dusron ko. If we remain alive, then we will preach. So we are not sannyasis. We can go away. We can run away. No problem. The Prabhupada was so deep, so faithful, such faith in Krishna that Rakhe Krishna marege. If Krishna wants to protect me, who can kill me? No scorpion, no snake, no elephant, nobody. Anyway, so here, where is it? Yeah, but no one was like Swamiji. Kitanand Swami even became disappointed that no one else in Vrindavan was like Swamiji. That is another thing. Swamiji is irreplaceable. Nobody can replace him. In the land where everyone was an Indian and everyone was a devotee, Swamiji was still unique. No one else was so simple, so grave, so able to penetrate through falsity, so attractive to the heart, or so absolutely attached to Krishna. No one else could lead them. So how Prabhupada was so attached to Krishna? Because he had heard very attentively from his spiritual master. Krishna says in 7.1, Maya saktamana partha yogam yunjan madashrayah asamshayam samagram mam yatha jnasasi tachrunu. So Krishna is telling Arjun, 7th chapter, that how you could become attached to me. Maya sakta, mai asakta, manaha partha, your mind will become attached to me. Yogam, through yoga, that you hear now. Tachrunu, just hear. That's why in 7th chapter, Arjun is not speaking only. Because in the first verse only Krishna said, just hear. That means don't speak. But at the end of 7th chapter, Krishna introduced many things. Adhibhut, Adhidaiva, Adhyatma, and Prayana Kalecha Samaye. So then 8 questions, 8 things Arjun asked in the 8th chapter beginning. 7th chapter he is not able to speak. But towards the end when Krishna said so many technical things, Arjun had to ask question. In the 8th chapter they are there. So by hearing attentively one becomes attached. Just like people in India mad for going to America, London or wherever. Why? Because they heard. Nobody had gone to America. But those who had been, they came back and they said, oh, Eiffel Tower and this or whatever that is in twin towers, this tower, that tower. Then people develop attraction. And nowadays the screen is also there. So people feel I should also go. So by hearing only one becomes attached. Rukmini Devi, she got in love with Krishna. How? By just hearing. From so many sages that would visit her father's kingdom, Vidarbha, that is Kaundinyapur, and palace of the king Bhishmak, her father, and they would speak about Krishna. Krishna is so amazing. Krishna killed this demon, that demon. Small girl, hardly 12-year-old, she fell in love with Krishna. I want to marry only Krishna, nobody else. And though her marriage was decided, fixed against her wish with Shishupal by her brother Rukmi, she wrote love letter to Krishna. Krishna, I love you. In short. And you please kidnap me. How you kidnap me? I will tell you the whole, perfect plan. Because Krishna may be scared. How can I enter in Rukmini's palace where there are so many girls and so many Matajis? So I will have to fight with them. I cannot kill Matajis. That is against Vedic literature, Vedic injunction. So then she said, don't worry, don't have to come inside the palace. I will only come out to take darshan of Devi, Durga Devi. That time you just come, kidnap me and take me on your chariot. So she gave a whole thing. Just by hearing, she became attached to Krishna. So we also have to hear. Prabhupada heard from his spiritual master, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and Prabhupada became so attached to Krishna. He's a Nitya Siddha devotee, but externally, just by hearing very attentively. If Kirtanand Swami and Achyutanand were doubtful about some of the residents of Vrindavan, some of the residents of Vrindavan were also doubtful of them. When a European hippie couple wandered into Vrindavan one day, Achyutanand accompanied them to some of the temples, but at the Ranganath temple, they were refused entry. Achyutanand told Prabhupada, who replied, that's because you went with those fools. When Prabhupada walked in the streets, people regularly nodded to him with respect, saying, Dandavat Maharaj. But they were cautious about accepting his American followers as Vaishnavas. So here Achyutanand went with one couple. So now boy and girl, whether they are married or not. So in India, Orthodox practices. I heard recently one of our devotees in one of our NIT Warangal pass out devotee, his Grace Chaitanya Seva Prabhu is getting married with one girl, congregation devotee, Priti Mataji. So their marriage is in Tirupati, Tirumala. They have several, like hundreds of marriages can, some 500 marriages can go on simultaneously. So they want to have there. It's very simple. Prasadam, everything is there. So one of the requirements for having your marriage there is that you have to have certificate of unmarried boy and unmarried girl. Especially for girl, she has to be unmarried. That certificate has to be there. Why? If she is married and she has divorced, then the marriage is not allowed. That's not allowed. That means woman will marry once and no question of divorce and all that. Man can marry 2, 3 because there are more number of women in the world and men are less. So some men need to marry again 2 times, 3 times. So polygamy is allowed according to scriptures. But women should not marry again. So no question of divorce for women and all that. They should take a humble role, not be carried away by false ego. Take a humble role and follow the husband, whatever the humble husband, whatever the state, but one should accept him. So that is the thing. This boy and girl, American boy and girl couple, whether they are married or not, so Ranganath temple did not allow him also because he was with them. Prabhupada, that's what Prabhupada told him very clearly. That's because you went with those fools. So you should not have gone with them. But Prabhupada was very much revered, Dandavat Maharaj. So Prabhupada was acceptable to Vrajavasis and other residents of Vrindavan. But his American disciples, they were sometimes they were not ready to accept them. Anyway, these are some of the things. Any question? Yes.
Hare Krishna Ji.
Hare Krishna.
As you were describing about the sannyas and how a sannyasi should
Are you
his
opting?
attitude and behavior, So, Prabhuji, when we are practicing Krishna consciousness, especially in Brahmachari ashram, sometimes this fear or understanding comes that because those people who have lived the worldly life and then they enter sannyas because they have experienced the pain of material life, then they can remain very determined after the taking Ram's order. On the other hand, sometimes people say that you have not experienced what is the pain of material life and you have superficially taken and you lived in ashram. So then sannyas may be difficult for you or you may leave and things like that. So we know Daksha philosophy and Narad philosophy. But in our current ISKCON context and seeing many Prabhupada disciples who took sannyas and later, so what is the right understanding so which can pacify our heart also and confidently we can keep moving ahead knowing our shortcomings.
Yeah, it's very difficult. It is difficult even for those who have gone through material life, family life, etc., to come to the level of taking sannyas. That's why in traditional life, Vedic life, who takes sannyas? Only Brahmanas. 4 varnas are there: Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. For Kshudra, only one Varna, married life. That's all. Grahastha ashram. This is only one ashram for one Varna called Shudra. For Vaishya, two ashram. In the childhood, this boy, Vaishya born child, he will be sent to Gurukul and he will remain there till around whatever age, 20, 25. Then he'll come back and he'll marry. Only two ashrams for Varna called Vaishya. For Kshatriya, three ashramas. In the childhood, the Kshatriya child, like Ram was sent and all, they will be sent to Gurukul. Then afterwards, they will come back, they will marry. And then after the age of 50 or whatever, they will go for Vanaprastha ashram. No sannyas. So only three. Only Brahmanas undergo four ashramas. In the childhood, Brahman boy is sent to Gurukul at the age of 5. And then he remains there. And then he comes back. Most of the Brahmin boys also would come back, get married, like Sudama. Sudama was friend of Krishna, Brahmin, but he got married. And then after 50, they go for Vanaprastha life. Husband, wife go for holy places visit. And then he takes sannyas. Not all, at least some, those who are qualified, they will take sannyas. So it is true, not so easy even for married people to go for sannyas. So what to speak of a brahmachari who becomes a brahmachari, a boy who never entered in family life and enters in brahmachari life. For him to continue with sannyas is very difficult unless he gets purified at heart. And that purification is through Shravanam mainly. And were serving also great souls. Vapu Seva and Vani Seva. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. That Abhadras should be out from the heart. And Abhadras are mainly two, passion and ignorance. And that's what he says. Tada Rajastamo Bhava Kamalobha Adayasyaye Chetayete Ranaviddam Stitam Satve Prasidati. Only sannyasi means Sattva Guna. Is almost always in Sattva Guna. And pure devotee means Shuddha Sattva Guna. Sannyasi has to be minimum Sattva Guna. He cannot be in passion and ignorance. So if he is in passion and ignorance, he is not fit for sannyas. So brahmachari is sometimes in passion, sometimes in ignorance, sometimes in goodness. So he has to get purified and he has to come to the level of at least always in the mode of goodness. Then he can transcend, then he can, with the help of sannyas, he can become pure devotee also. So we have to see our internals also. Whether am I situated in the mode of goodness minimum, then one can go for sannyas and then there will not be problem. Passion and passion ignorance that might have been there earlier. One has seen that one goes through, one gets hit by that, but eventually one is not so much disturbed. Anartha nivritti's stage is crossed. Then nishtha, that aham tarishyami duranta param, that is nishtha, na? Minimum nishtha. Nishtha is sattva gun. Before that, anartha nivritti means anarthas are there. They are going out. They are getting retired. So anarthas are passion and ignorance. When passion and ignorance are almost nil, nashta prayeshu abhadreshu, then one is situated in sattva guna. Then one is fit for sannyas. So if prematurely one is given sannyas, he won't be able to continue with those vows of sannyas because his heart is impure. Heart will look for wrong things and then he may fall prey to them and then it will cut. ISKCON will have to cut sorry figure. That's why now in ISKCON they are very careful. During Prabhupada time, Prabhupada had to take risk. There was no option. But Prabhupada wanted preachers who will go out everywhere. So they were sannyasis. So he gave sannyas. He knew that some or many may not continue. But no problem. Prabhupada took all kinds of risk, all kinds of ventures for spreading Krishna consciousness. But that was creation mode also of ISKCON. Now it's kind of maintenance. Now ISKCON, when it's so well established all over the world, people know, everywhere people know ISKCON and all. So then we have to have very strict standards. So now for sannyas, there are very strict standards. They will not give sannyas so easily. They will test him from all sides. So several years it takes in that waiting list. 4, 5, 10 years also. So that is required. One has to come to the mode of Sattva Gun, minimum. If he is in Shuddha Sattva Gun, very good. If not, minimum he has to be in Sattva Guna. Then he is fit, he can easily go on. So for that, two things only, hearing, reading, hearing, etc., chanting properly. And that is Nityam Bhagavata Seva, reading, hearing Bhagavatam. And then Vyakti Bhagavat, person Bhagavat. So if those two things we exercise a lot, then we could become fit for sannyas. But internal sannyas is more important. Anashrita karma phalam karyam karma karoti yah sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnir na cha akriya. 6.1. First verse of sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Anashrita karma phalam, without becoming attached to the fruits of your action. So brahmachari should see whether he is attached to the fruits of his action. He should not be attached. We are very fruitive. Even when we go for preaching program, we say, no, how many boys will come? What kind of boys? NIT, IIT. I am better. Huh? For the package. What is the package? If you are preaching to corporate circle people, what is the package of the boys and girls? I'll preach to only those who have 5-digit number per month, something like. So this is very fruitive. But on the contrary, on the other side, we may be preaching to such people because we have been ordered. My superiors have told that, okay, see in Hyderabad city, metropolitan city, people will see all the software engineers and all of them. So you preach to them because they become leaders, they become devotees in ISKCON. Then yad yad acharati sreshtas, then many will come. One software engineer becomes devotee, then hundreds of many other graduates by seeing him may also get thing. So by the pleasure of my superiors, I go for such so-called elite preaching or like that. Not that I am attached. I can preach to beggars also. I can preach to. No? So that's why a brahmachari should be so simple. He goes to Nampalli railway station. All beggars are there. He tells them, okay, let us chant Hare Krishna. And he dances with them. Not that, oh, you are personally engineer brahmachari and you are dealing with beggars every day. Yeah, I am a beggar only. Na? Beggar will associate with other beggars. I have been told also. Simple. So he should not be fruitive. If a brahmachari is fruitive, he is not fit for sannyas. Anashrita karma phalam, karyam karma karo. He does the duty, he is on the duty platform. Fear, desire, duty, love. Many brahmacharis in ISKCON are desiring to get sannyas. अरे हम इतने सालों से ब्रह्मचारी हैं, हमें संन्यास क्यों नहीं मिल रहा है? They are desiring. So passion is there. They should, they are not fit. They get sannyas, they will have a problem. They have to be on the duty platform. I take sannyas because my spiritual master wants me to take sannyas. And it's sannyas is free to preach all over the world. So for that reason I take. Pure desire, duty, love. Love is in pure goodness. If that brahmachari is in love platform, he is in Shuddha Sattva Gun, very good. But if not, at least duty, Sattva Guna platform. Anashrita karya phalam, karyam karma karotiya, karma phalam, karyam karma karotiya. He does activities as he is expected to do. Sa sannyasi, he is a sannyasi, cha yogi cha, and he is also yogi. Na niragnir na cha akriya, not the one who does not light fire or he remains without activity. Akriya, I will not do any activity. He is not a sannyasi, according to Krishna in 6.1. And one who says, I will not light fire because if I light fire, some insects will be killed or something like that. So I cannot. We do cooking for Radha Madan Mohan. So we light fire. In that fire, some bacteria will be killed unavoidably. Whether you know or not, that will happen. But for the Lord's service, we do that. We intentionally don't kill many insects, etc. But they will automatically be killed. So he is not a sannyasi who does not light fire or who does no activity. One who does activity as is obligated to do, but he is not attached to the fruits of his action. Such a person is a sannyasi. So we have to understand sannyas thoroughly. What is sannyas and what is not sannyas? Otherwise, if we just get carried away by externals, then we will be cheated and we will cheat the whole world also. So that is not proper. Sannyas is taken for rendering service to the entire society. It's very selfless work. So one who is not having that selfless mentality, he has some selfish mentality, such a person is not fit for sannyas. Krishna will not tolerate such a person's arrogance, audacity, and Krishna will teach him lesson in a hard way. So one should, it's not a children's play. Sannyas is not a children's play. It's a very serious responsibility of leading a very pure life. He says, Shukla vastre masi bindu jaise na lukai, sannyasira alpachidra sarva loke gai. Shukla vastre, on white, we have devotees wearing white dhoti kurta. Masi bindu, one drop of ink. We have fountain pen, ink pen. So if somebody, by mistake, sometimes it leaks out. So one spot of ink on white cloth. Shukla vastre masi bindu jaise na lukai. As it cannot be hidden. Very clearly it is. Like anybody comes, Arey Prabhu, kya hua? He will not see such a huge white dhoti and white kurta. He will immediately point out that small spot of ink. Shukla vastre masi bindu jaise na lukai, Sannyasira alpachidre sarvaloka gaye. Similarly, sannyasi is alpachidra, a little loophole in his character, some impurity. Sarvaloka gaye. Everybody will keep saying, Are pata hai, you know that sannyasi, he did this fraud, this mistake, that mistake. So he has to be very pure, internally pure and externally also pure. Such a person should take sannyas. Otherwise, it's a very heavy responsibility. It's very, very heavy responsibility. It's not a joke. One has to, one should do it as a service, not for pleasure, not for my enjoyment. It is for others' enjoyment. I sacrifice my whole existence. That is a sannyasi. Okay, Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samaveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanandi.